Morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Mine's starting off awesome. I'm really glad to see that the British people voted to exit the EU, and I'm hoping that's a big motivational tool for the American people. The politicians don't listen to anybody anymore in any country, it seems like, and I think what we're seeing is a reaction to that. And I think that today we're going to see a major flop in all of our markets because the world is going to panic. Now, hopefully, France and the people of Germany will be next to raise their gauntlet against the EU and the fascist regimes that are running the country. And this needs to serve as a wake up call to our leftist crybabies in our country. You can only treat people as subservient slaves so long. The other day, we had our politicians do a set in Washington, and we've got people raising hell at Trump rallies. We have got a career felon endorsed by our President of the United States for Democratic candidate. We have had Bernie Sanders, who had the populist vote for the Democrats, who's been pushed aside, which proves that no matter what the people think, there's other powers that are picking and choosing who your leaders are. The Republican side, we got a full-blown panic revolt brewing in the establishment at large on how to dump Trump. Now, literally, our elections aren't going to fix anything. We need to take some matters into our own hands and start giving these leftists a taste of their own medicine. We've all had jobs and situations in life where you were so miserable that you did whatever it took to get out of it. And, if we make all these politicians that are in power now so goddamn miserable, not only at work, but in their personal life, and that's the key, you got to make their personal lives hell. Because when they're home on days off and they try to go eat somewhere with their family and they're humiliated and put in their place the whole time, and they feel like they can't have any peace and they can't separate work from play, you'll start getting your point across. The only way to fix our problem is to force the current leaders to be accountable. The same with our government employees, the ones that abuse their power. Yesterday, Texas had a huge victory with the Supreme Court. The United States scored a huge victory, which honestly I didn't think we would be able to do. I thought we were too far. But we won on illegal immigration. Now the next step is that the state of Texas, the state of Arizona, and anyone else that chooses to do so needs to take matters into their own hands. We know that no matter what the Supreme Court said, our president is going to subvert every law involved. He's just going to tell the Border Patrol not to arrest people, not to deport people. The Department of Justice is going to refuse to take any cases. The Department of Justice and the President of the United States is just going to threaten lawsuits against any entity in the United States that tries to enforce the laws. They're going to threaten states to cut funding, etc. Well, this is where we need to take our stand, and I'm just going to talk for Texas. First and foremost, pick up the phone, burn the phone lines up, make your politicians miserable over the phone, make the office workers miserable. When you see your politicians uptown, and it doesn't matter if they're state, city, or county, lay into their ass. Demand that they start doing their job, and demand that they pick up the shortcomings of the federal government and start cleaning house here. We cannot compete with even our own for jobs right now. There's not enough jobs, and the wages are depressed. Cost of living's through the roof. We need to take a stand in Texas. I saw a picture today and it made my day. Tex it. Well, you know what? There's a lot of truth to that. We're the greatest state in this country, and we have some of the most loyal citizens this world could ever ask for in this state. It's time that we pick up the ball for ourselves and start demanding our current politicians to be accountable. Let's start off with immigration. They know who's illegal, start deporting them. Don't matter what it costs us, just drive to the border, make them get out, make them walk across the border. Second of all, Constitution. We need to demand that our Constitution is upheld as written, not as corrupted by politicians. Constitutional carry, free speech, the whole 9 yards. And last but not least, we need to demand that our state immediately tell its citizens and its employers that no more taxes will be collected for the federal government. If they choose to collect them, they need to put them in an account and not send them or transfer them to the federal government. Our tax system is corrupt. It targets our citizens. It's been used as a weapon to control our citizens. So let's take a stand here in Texas. Start here. The Brits started to take control of their destiny, and they don't have the freedoms and the protections that we have. And if those people can stand up and see what's going on, we need to exercise every freedom and every right that we have. We need to make sure that we take control of our destiny back. We are not servants to our state. We are not servants to our federal government. And the other side of this is we need to get rid of career politicians, professional politicians, and we need to get back to where we got Joe Blow from the Rio Grande Valley representing us. We need to get Joe Blow from Abilene, Texas, and Joe Blow from Denton, Texas, Joe Blow from Longview, Texas. And it needs to be one term and done on the federal and state and local levels. One term and done. No lifetime benefits, no special salaries. We got to break the buddy network. And I'm counting on everybody to step up today and say, you know what, there is some hope. But that hope only lives as long as we make it live. We got to feed it. We got to nurture it. And if we don't feed and nurture that hope, and we don't feed and nurture our freedoms, they die. So to every citizen of every state and every country, today, stand up. You can't bank on elections to solve the problem. You got to force the politicians that are currently in power to do what's correct. We need to demand that Hillary Clinton is indicted and imprisoned just like any other individual would be in this country. We need to take a stand We need to take the power back from whoever the fuck it is that's controlling it. And we need to take it back on the state and local level and the federal level. And the easiest way to do that for us here in Texas is to take control of our state back. The federal government can cut funding all they want. They take way more than they get anyway. So what if we get hurt for a little bit? It won't take long and it'll balance out. If we're not sending them any more money, they can't hold anything back. So think about that, folks. When you see your politician out in his front yard mowing the grass, and they have done nothing to serve the common good of people, feel free to walk over there and corner them on it. Feel free to walk over there and hold them accountable for it. And when you see them with their family in public, corner them. Hold them accountable. Make their life so miserable over their fucked up choices that they either decide to do what David Cameron did when they lost in the Brexit last night and say, I'm done. I'm going to prove that I've never been for you. I'm just going to quit. That's where we're at, folks. This is a ticking time bomb in this country. Our freedoms are imploding. We have surrendered control to corporate and foreign entities, and our politicians are nothing more than enriching their wealth anymore. They don't even write policies, folks. They've got law firms and lobbyists that write their own policies and hand it to them, and then they just pass it through. Our states and our countries and our freedoms were guaranteed, and we're supposed to be in the driver's seat of our own destiny. We're supposed to be in control of our own free will. We weren't supposed to surrender our free will to our politicians, and our politicians weren't supposed to surrender our free will to corporate and foreign entities. The EU, the United Nations, all of these centralist powers are nothing more than to enslave people, and it's a failed model. Let's hope that the gasoline is poured on the fire from every direction in this world today, from here forward. Squash. I mean squash like a grape. Any politician, any entity, any organization that is not pro you. Thanks. Have a great day.